So I'm Dr. Jason Dean, Doctor of Chiropractic and Advanced Nutrition Response Testing Practitioner. Tonight we're going to talk about surviving the winter. Has anybody ever noticed where around the winter time people start getting sicker? Or they start common cold, the flu seasons, that type of stuff comes around the winter? Well, tonight I'm going to teach you a few things on why that actually happens, and it's not because of what most people think it is. So there's some myths out there about why people get sick, cold, flu, etc. And then there's the real reason why it happens. How's that sound? Okay, so I'm gonna blow away a few of the things that you used to think about. So has everybody ever heard of the immune system? Okay, so I always ask patients, have they heard of the immune system? And most people say yes, but when I ask them what the immune system actually is, most don't actually know what it is. They just hear the word, right? It's very common. So tonight I'm going to go through the immune system, because in order to know why we get sick or why we're healthy, you gotta know what the immune system is, because the immune system technically tries to keep us healthy. Okay? The immune system is a system of biological just means living structures and processes within an organism, so we're organisms, that protects against disease. So in layman's terms, basically says the immune system is what you're born with, created with. It's the process in your body that keeps you from getting sick, or strives to keep you from getting sick. Every process in your body is governed by hormones and enzymes, which are all mineral dependent. So you have to have minerals, you have to have vitamins, nutrients to keep that running. If you're failing to get minerals and enzymes in your diet, your body is at a weakness. That equals decreased or suppressed immune system, which equals sickness, allergies, and possible disease long term. So if your immune system, I'm sure you know some people who may have a sickness or a disease, and you can tell like chronically their immune system has been lowered, or they may even say that, hey, my immune system is lowered. In other words, the doctors throughout today is called immunosuppressed. Okay? It just means your immune system is not working the way it should be, which the nice thing is in our office we actually teach about that. So we look to make sure the immune system is actually working with our nutritional testing. Now, this is where I'm going to change your thought process a little bit. So everyone talks about germs, right? And like we're washing our hands thoroughly, and we're putting all that antibacterial stuff on our hands. That's actually one of the worst things we can do, and I'm going to explain why. Okay? So if you look at the germ theory, it says diseases are caused by microorganisms. So microorganisms are basically like viruses, bacterias, pathogens, as they say. You've all heard of those, right? Yeah. Okay. So diseases are caused by microorganisms. These small organisms, too small to see without magnification, so you have to look at them under a magnifying glass. They invade humans, animals, and other living hosts. Their growth and reproduction within their hosts can cause a disease. So that is the germ theory. Or so have you ever heard of somebody that goes in a room full of people and there's a few sick people in the room, and then those people come out and they're sick too? Yeah. Okay, that's the germ theory. That's what they're saying, is everyone gets sick. Well, how about this paradigm? What about those people that go into a room of 20 people or so, or it doesn't matter how many people. Say you go into a group of people and there's a whole bunch of people of those are sick, right? And then you leave, you never get sick. Have you ever had that happen before? Or been around people who are sick, go into a hospital, you leave and go home and you don't get sick. Well, the way science works is that immediately renders the germ theory incorrect. Because the germ theory is saying that if you get around disease, no matter how healthy you are, or around these viruses, bacteria, you're going to automatically get them. That's what the germ theory, but that does not happen actually, correct? Exactly. So the founder of chiropractic was a guy named D.D. Palmer. He founded chiropractic back in 1895. His son developed chiropractic after his dad passed on to make it even better. His name was B.J. Palmer. They all went by initials back then. He actually had a quote in the 1900s, and he said, if the germ theory of disease were correct, there'd be no one living to believe it. Meaning that I can walk into a room of 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, to sick people in there. I'm not necessarily going to get sick. Well, why is that? Because if the germ theory is correct, I should be getting sick. right? But actually that's incorrect. And the person who founded that theory was Louis Pasteur. Have you heard of pasteurization? Well, he actually kind of stole some information from a teacher of his a long time ago, and he was paid a lot of money to push that theory, which is what medicine, so over-the-counter medication today for like colds and flus, that's what that's based on. Kind of throws the paradigm off a little bit, right? Yeah. Right, so that's, the germ theory is not correct. Now, there are germs, there are viruses, etc. You will only pick them up and get sick if your immune system is lowered. It's not automatic. So now, say I was not feeling well, or I'd been traveling a lot, or I was eating really bad food, and then I walked into a room of 20, 100 people, whatever amount it was, and I was around sick people. Now, do I have a better chance of getting sick then? Yes. Because my immune system is lowered. However, say I'm eating really well, I'm well adjusted, gotten a lot of rest, getting a lot of sunlight, and I walk into that room. What are my chances of getting sick then? Not nearly as high, right? So that's why the germ theory is technically incorrect. Yes, we can pick things up, but if our immune system is high, we're not going to get sick. Now, there's ways we have to actually handle that, though, because if our digestion's off, or our respiratory system's off, or something like that, that can lower our immune system. So ultimately, that's why I said I have to change some minds, is because we're not going to just get sick because someone else is sick. And everyone's experiencing that life, but they've never actually really thought about it. Now, everyone, now that they get sick, runs out to the drugstore and they pick up over-the-counter medication to knock out some sort of thing. Now, do you know that in our body, we have bacteria and viruses and different things that will always be living in us? Right. So have you ever heard of gut bacteria? Gut bacteria, like flora? Okay. So everyone has bacteria in their body. You know everyone has strep throat? Everyone has E. coli? We all have it. I have it right now. You have it right now. You have it. You just didn't know you had it. Our body is an organism that's constantly changing, and our immune system keeps everything in balance. So if you have strep throat, why don't you have strep throat? You only get real strep throat, as in like you get sick strep throat, when that balance goes out of balance. So if say you have the bacteria or you have E. coli in you, right? Well, you already have it there. What if it gets out of balance though and it goes skyrocketing up? Now you're going to express the signs and symptoms of having an E. coli bacteria, whether you get sick in the stomach or UTI infections, etc. That's when it shows, because there's a balance in your body. You have all of these things. That's what the immune system is built on. So you know how when I grew up, my mom used to say, go out and play in the dirt, right? How many kids are allowed to go play in the dirt today? You don't want them to get dirty, right? I grew up, go play in dirt. I was eating it. I was putting it everywhere. Why didn't I get sick? I was constantly building my immune system up. So today I can handle a lot more stuff than most kids today because my immune system handles all that stuff. The more things that are introduced to you as you grow up, your body receives that, says, oh, hey, that's a virus or that's a pathogen or a bacteria, whatever it is, and it starts making the copy inside of your body so that if it sees it ever again, it knows how to handle it. That's how you build your immune system up. So when I was playing in the dirt, I was picking up every bacteria under the sun, but my body would learn what it was, put the defense mechanism in to handle it. Now if it ever saw it again, no problem. Today, we're washing our hands constantly, so we're rubbing off every single thing we can possibly get. Go let your kids play in the dirt. They're supposed to. The antibacterial lotion that you see already pumping in the hands, one of the worst things you can do. You're trying to sterilize stuff on your body. You'll actually pick up more, and it will throw your immune system off. We need to focus on building the immune system up rather than worrying about a bunch of germs that are never actually going to do anything to us. The flu, I'm going to tell you how to beat the flu. How's that sound? If not the germs there, then what causes sickness and disease? Well, now we know. A depressed or suppressed immune system. We go off the basis that we're given what's called innate intelligence. That's what we use in the term we use. Basically innate, given from God or our Creator. we're given this immune system that you can't see, it just operates in there without you knowing, to build you up naturally to help you handle anything in life. So what are immune system suppressors? So almost number one is sugar. So as you've heard in this office, most likely, sugar just beats the body up. There's no two ways around it. It just wears the body down. Sugar wears down the immune system. The more you eat, the sicker you get. It never fails. Any person I get in here who has a sugar problem, their immune system is lowered. Overall, it's a good paradigm to live by just to keep your carb or your sugar intake as low as possible, ultimately. Okay? Processed or GMO foods. So processed foods you kind of know about, some of the stuff with all the chemicals and toxins in it. And then you also have GMO. So GMO stands for genetically modified. So one of the biggest reasons I despise genetically modified foods is because scientists decided they wanted to start playing God. So what they're doing in a chemistry lab is they're going in and they're injecting different chemicals and different species of other plants and animals into the seeds of our plants to get it so that the beetles, bugs, all the things out there in nature can't harm their food or the crops. However, as many of you may know, our food doesn't actually grow without nature helping it grow. We need it pollinated by bees. We need beetles to be on certain things. They help things grow. That's nature. Well, with GMO foods, when a beetle or another bug lands on that vegetable or whatever it may be, they start trying to take in some of it. Well, they take in the chemical, the DNA that they've messed with, and it makes them explode. So if the animal's exploding when that chemical, that toxin goes in them, what do you think it does to our stomach?
Oh my God.
Right. So one of the big links to autism is called leaky gut syndrome. What does leaky gut mean? Literally what it sounds like. Basically, the gut starts perforating and leaking because toxins. And genetically modified foods is one of the big links to autism as well as vaccinations. But yes, leaky gut syndrome, very bad. And the other part, the leaky gut syndrome, it directly affects the immune system, so it lowers the immune system, but also your gut is directly linked to your brain. So if your gut is off, I guarantee you're not thinking well, you're not as quick as you should be, and you're pretty much not as smart as you should be, because we're all smart. But if you're not getting nutrients and things are leaking into your blood system, your brain's not going to operate as it should. So that's why those are so bad. Chiropractic subluxations. Your immune system is your nervous system. Okay? If your nervous system is in alignment and your brain is working right, your brain is telling the body what to do. Your brain is telling the blood system what to do. The brain is telling the immune system how it should be doing, what it should be attacking, what it should be letting alone, and helping the body. So if you have a bone out of place and it's pinching on a nerve, do you think that's good or bad? Bad. That's lowering your immune system. So people who get chiropractic care tend to be far healthier, and statistics show those under chiropractic care have 85% less medications in their life. And then over-the-counter medications. So I talked about the fact that, the germ theory today goes out there and it sells a lot of medications over-the-counter and prescription. So what happens is medicine at its very basic formulation bypasses physiology. So I'm not against medicine necessarily. I believe there's a time and place for emergency medicine, but I believe that's what it's for, emergency. Helping save lives, not living on every day necessarily, right? So what does medication do? It's designed strictly to bypass physiology, to bypass the normal systems of our body, to whether it's help save somebody or handle a certain thing they have going on. That's what it's supposed to do, bypass what nature is currently doing, because sometimes you have to do that to save somebody's life. However, we're pushing over-the-counter medications to everybody. So if you go get, if you have a cold, because you have a lowered immune system, would it be better to go take a supplement with some food in it, or go eat some carrots and some oranges? Or would it be better to go get some sort of a Benadryl or a flu or a Tamiflu? All that's doing is going in and it's masking the symptoms. So say you have a cold, runny nose, maybe a cough, some congestion, different things like that, right? Well, your body is doing that to get rid of the cold. So when you blow your nose, that doesn't mean you're sick. It means the actual mucus in your body is trying to push out the viral thing or bacterial thing, whatever you got. What the medication is doing is it's trying to stop you from having the runny nose. So if you ever got the cold, I want you to have a runny nose. That means your body's working. right? It's getting rid of stuff. The medication is trying to stop you from having a runny nose or having a cough. So medication bypasses the normal operation of the body. Environmental toxins. So in our office, we can test for a lot of different things. So any sickness or disease you're dealing with, you most likely are always going to find some sort of toxin or environmental piece to that. And there's 5 major environmental toxins or stressors, as we call them. You have heavy metals, which don't belong in the body, heavy chemicals, which don't belong in the body, major food sensitivities, okay, genetically modified included, immune suppressors, so immune challenges, so like your viral, your bacterial, your parasitic, your fungal, that type of stuff. And then, as you know, some people in this office, you know, scars can throw off the body too, because your body, if you cut your skin, you're cutting nerves. That's your nervous system, that's your immune system. That's, as a chiropractor, that's what we deal with. So a scar can throw your body off as well, which a lot of people in this office understand because they've worked under scars before. So those are the major environmental things that we have to deal with sometimes. But our goal is to take that stuff out because those things suppress your immune system. I want to raise your immune system. So medication is going to go in and mask the symptom, and it might even add more toxins to what you already have. What if we take those toxins away? Your immune system goes up, you start battling all the stuff that's out there that people are dealing with. So the moral of the story is work on your immune system, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So what are the real and natural solutions for allergies? I also need to put flu on there, cold, etc. Well, chiropractic, I love chiropractic because I'm tuning up the nervous system, which all directly leads to turning up the immune system. Remember I said 85% less medications when people get adjusted? Exactly. So organically, locally grown foods. So we preach in here food, food, food. Why? Because food makes you heal. So I always tell patients that I am more than happy to build their body up with the supplementation to get that system working again. Because a lot of times, say your liver has some toxicity in it, or say it has a heavy metal in it. Well, we first want to detox that metal out because it shouldn't be there and it's not allowing it to heal. Then we'll build it up with some sort of liver support. Well, once we get it up to speed, I don't want you to have to live on supplements all your life. I want your food to do the work for you. So my goal is when a patient's doing better, only have them on a few things just for wellness. Ultimately, I want your food healing your life. Because if you're eating good food all day, you should be feeling pretty good, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So that's why we call organically, locally grown foods. Raw honey, local milk, raw local milk. So those 2 things are in there only because they actually help the immune system with certain people. Now, it's not for everybody. So some people can't do dairy, some people can. For the ones that can do it, we actually tell them raw is the best way to do it. Why? Because you're getting a raw living food. Okay? It's coming from a cow. They also have immune systems, right? So people who can do dairy, that can actually be very beneficial to them. Okay? Honey, because bees make the world go around. So bees pollinate it. You would not have any vegetables, fruits, etc. on this planet without bees. That's how important bees are. And right now, the population is decreasing heavily. But if we lose the bees, we lose us because they help the food system grow. So that's why honey is so big, because it works a lot. Make sense? And then nutrition response testing. So in this office, we do what's called nutrition response testing. It's a form of muscle testing. And the reason why we use this is exactly what I said before. We're detoxing. We have to get rid of the toxins from your system. If we get rid of the toxins, the immune system goes up. And now we actually start building those organs back up again.